Russell, I figured it out. Oh my gosh.
It was so smooth.
I figured it out, you guys. Oh my goodness. Good Monday morning, everyone. It's still hot as heck here in Texas. We're not getting any rain right now, which makes it really nice. But you guys listening to Author Talk with me, Amy, Russell, and Mickey is on joining us for Just an Us subject this month. So quick little side note. You guys know I'm like crazy about birthdays. My birthday is a week from today. And so, I'm going to be mentioning it just all the time. So if you're on my socials, just be prepared for that because it's going to happen 100%. But weekends, you guys. Okay. So last week was just a whirlwind of a week. Just was crazy work-wise, was crazy. 2, I'm behind on laundry. And you guys know I just suck. I suck at laundry. And so my opt-out is I take the kids to the pool. So we went to the pool the entire last week. And then we did like a get-together with some of the kids' friends and their parents at the pool on Saturday. Yesterday, I worked for a couple hours yesterday doing something cool that we'll talk about a little later. So I have just decided that I cannot go to the pool today. It's what I've decided. I've told myself this until 3:30. 3:30, I'm going to go to the pool, which coincidentally is when Amy being nice ends about 3:30. I don't know. Most people, it's after 5. 3:30, it's me. Because I have to get caught up on laundry. Okay, it was my goal this weekend. I failed miserably. And I'm still working on getting my hot tub connected because I have to convince Josh to get it connected. And now I have to get HOA approval. And I don't like doing that. I kind of just like to go around it. So it was a fun, adventurous weekend of not doing laundry and avoiding it. So just saying.
That's a hell of a story.
I know. I'm sorry. It was all over the place. I'm all over the place today. It's Monday morning. It's bound to happen. But Mickey, what did you do this weekend, this past week? Talk to us.
Well, Amy, unlike you, I did do laundry and I got her all figured out. But in addition to that, I also saw my kid on Saturday and we went out to a nice restaurant. We went back to my place. We watched Walking Dead, all these things. And then I find out that there's a screen broken in my house. So I have trees right by my balcony, and the screen in my apartment was torn open. So we get home after dropping my kid off. I come back. There are like 10 flies on the windowsill because they came in from the screen. So a little bit of dish soap, a little bit of water, took care of that industry business. And then Sunday I just worked. So that was my weekend in a nutshell. And yes, last week was a whirlwind week, as we both know.
Yeah, it was fun. Good times.
And we'll get to that in a little bit too.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Russell.
Okay. I have stories from France and Italy. When these happened, I thought, I can't wait to tell Amy.
Oh, good. Okay.
So
good.
first story is we rented a car in Rome and headed north, right?
Okay.
And I got to tell you, it is so weird when you're driving down a highway and you do not know what any road sign says. You have no idea what the road sign says. And when your rental car has lights that flash words, you have no idea what those are.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
that sounds terrible. Yeah.
And you really don't know how fast you're going because, it's in kilometers, it's not in miles. And no matter how many times I would do a translation when I'm sitting there at a restaurant, I forget it while I'm driving. So I don't know how fast I'm going. And let me tell you what, Italians, this is why Formula One is curvy and not oval. Italians drive like they're in Formula One. I actually had to drive through Rome and I was careful because the roads are like 2 inches wide, right?
Yeah.
And I was the slow driver because the Italians just accelerated. It was crazy. Okay, so that's the first story.
Wow. Okay. I would fit in there.
So Russell, a quick question before you do the second story. Did the Leaning Tower of Pisa lean even more knowing you were coming to their country, or what's the deal there?
Okay, let me tell you. We went to that. And I did not give a crap about it, but my wife made me go. I got to tell you, it's even from someone who did not give a crap about it, I was pretty wow.
Okay.
Because
Yeah.
number one, it's way bigger than I thought. Number two is they've completely redone it. So it's beautiful. It's a beautiful piece of art.
Yeah.
And number three is it's shocking how much it's leaning. It's
Okay.
shocking. I
All
Oh,
mean,
right.
wow.
I thought, oh, it's stunning. They had to redo it so it wouldn't fall. And I see why, because everything says that thing should be on the ground. I was
Wow.
stunned.
Well, I knew you were coming to the country, so it was preparing itself. That's all it is to it. That's it. And that's the only shot I'll give you today. Just know that,
Well, I still have a funny one about you. But anyway, okay, here's my story about France.
All right.
Okay.
You're not going to believe this because I still think there's something wrong with what I saw. And I don't think
Okay.
it's true, but I've had it confirmed that I was right.
Okay. All right.
Okay, when I was in France at two serious restaurants, these weren't down the alley restaurants, though sometimes down the alley restaurants are some of the most serious restaurants of all.
Right.
These were serious, nice restaurants.
Okay.
But as you know, in Paris, the buildings are very old. They're not really designed for modern day.
That's
So,
right.
like the bathrooms are not, they weren't designed to either be bathrooms to be that accommodating anything.
Okay.
So, like the first day we were in Paris, there was we were in some really great restaurant. I had to go to the bathroom that was downstairs. So I went downstairs. Now, this is before I got to the women's and men's separate bathrooms. Okay. This is out by the, uh, where you wash your hands.
Okay.
So I come down the stairs. I'm standing there, and over to the right, there's a guy going to the bathroom in a urinal that's
Okay.
out by where you wash your hands when you come out of the men's or women's bathrooms.
Okay.
So I was stunned. So I quickly went to the men's bathroom and he was going. So I thought, I just couldn't believe it. And when I'm upstairs, I told my wife, she's like, oh, yeah, that happens. That's here. I didn't really believe her.
That's crazy.
3 days later in Paris, we're at another nice restaurant. I go to the bathroom again. It's the same thing. I
Oh my
can't
gosh.
believe it. So that
Mm-mm.
means that men are using that part of the bathroom and women go by them, behind them to go to their bathroom room.
That's crazy.
I would hold it. I would hold it.
I
Mm-mm.
can't believe it.
Mm-mm. No. That's so okay.
And that was just on those days. Every day it was something, but it was so fun. We love Paris. We
Mhm.
had an apartment on the third floor with a balcony that overlooked this intersection with all these sidewalk cafes that we spent all our time in when we weren't sightseeing, uh, having champagne, sitting on the sidewalk, doing the whole sidewalk cafe life. It was
Mm.
like some kind of being in a movie. It was so awesome.
Yeah. See, I could do
Yeah.
that. I could do the sidewalk cafe live. I could do that. I couldn't do having to walk by a guy going to the bathroom so I can go to the bathroom. I couldn't do that. Like I just would be like, I'll hold it. I'll hold it. Yeah. No.
Okay, I want our viewers to leave comments at the bottom if you believe me or not. I'm telling the truth, but I just want to know if there's anybody watching this that just thinks that just can't happen. Just
Mm-mm.
put a comment at the bottom, or if you've ever seen that when you were in Paris. We never came across that kind of thing in Rome
Hmm.
or any of the
Well,
Italian cities we were in. It was just
yeah.
Paris.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh,
Crazy.
Russell, I have a question for you because you have traveled and me and Josh are at a standstill on this and I haven't traveled, but I am Italian, right? So I told him it was offensive and then he talked to his own Italian friends and now we're at a standstill. So you can determine this for me. So Josh told me we were going to dinner and we were going to get Mediterranean food. Okay. when I think Mediterranean food, I don't think Italian food. I think like Greek food, lamb, all of that, very Mediterranean, right? And he says no, because Italy is on the Mediterranean Sea. It's lumped into Mediterranean food. So they're all classified as Mediterranean. Me being Italian, that's offensive to me. I'm like, no, like we just have our own food category, but I'm biased. So Russell, I want to know your opinion. When you were in Rome and you went to get food, was it just Mediterranean food or like
No, uh, I understand why he says that. And generally speaking, uh, he would be right because you use olive oil, not butter, right? Which is
right,
kind of the surface test,
right.
right? And
Mhm.
so both places you use olive oil, not butter. So that's why he calls it Mediterranean. And in that, but no, nobody refers to Italian food as Mediterranean.
Thank
That's Italian is a separate category, but he has a logical reason why he says that because it's an olive oil based diet, not a butter diet.
because he's an engineer and only goes based off of logical things and like Italian food's in its own category. At least that's
It
how
is.
I've always done it. Because my grandmother said the same thing. My grandmother's from Sicily, my dad's mom, right? Her parents were arranged in Sicily and then they came over here. So she's from Sicily. So when my dad had talked to her about it, she was like, oh, slap his mouth. No. So it was one of those like, fun little moments. But still, so Josh is gonna die on that hill that it's Mediterranean food. And it was just like, no, it's not.
Yeah.
It's Italian food. I've never heard of that. So he's
I
not in
need to
charge of
thank our
dinner.
viewers.
Yes.
Uh, if you're listening to us, most people listen to us during the week on our podcast, not as many live on Monday morning, but you're always welcome to. And you can go to the Facebook channel, Author Talk, and watch us or one of ours. But we want to thank the people that are listening to us. We're very honored that you do. And I couldn't find us for a long time on the podcast channels until Amy changed it. Now even I can find it. Amy thinks it sounds like a cut when Amy says, if Russell can find it, you can, but that's not a cut, that's a fact.
It's the truth.
If I can find it, you can find it. Amy, where do people find us on the podcast channels?
Yeah. So you guys, you can find us anywhere that you can look for a podcast. My go-to is Amazon Music, of course, Spotify, Good Pods. If you're an Apple user, iTunes, Android, Google Play, it's where you can go. If you want to engage with us live and chat with us and deal with Mickey and Russell's fun, voluptuous conversations of sarcasm back and forth, you can join us over on our YouTube channel, any one of our social media channels. You can see where we started to how we've evolved to today and how I wasn't super involved and now I am super involved on our YouTube channel. All of our episodes in our 9 years is uploaded, so you can go and hang out, check out with us. We are obviously live every Monday morning at 10 a.m. So you can come and party with us, join our Facebook group over on Facebook under Author Talk. But yeah, you guys, I want to talk about my work
your
on
master
Sunday.
class.
Yes. So I want to talk about my masterclass on Sunday. Okay, I've done online courses and stuff before. I've taught them. I've done all those things. I've never done a 3-hour one. And I broke it up into 3 different segments. So we were talking about ads, right? We talked about Amazon, Google, and Facebook ads, right? Those are the most common ones for authors. So those are the ones that we talked about. So it was super fun. I did it for the Historical Novel Society. Their conference is going on right now in Vegas. And so I kind of kicked it off online before the in-person event started. So it was a lot of fun. Jenny Q over there is fantastic. But there's always this thing when it comes to me. So one, if you don't know me very well, I do get nervous. I've done these a lot before, but I do get super nervous doing them. I know I love the little black fluffy cat that Mickey has.
Sorry, I couldn't help it. It just, yeah.
I love it. So
It's cool, Mickey. I like the way he's slapping at your mic too.
It was
That's
great.
cool.
So I do actually get nervous about it, but it gets more. So I'm just I'm kind of awkward. Like Russell knows this. I'm awkward. I poke a lot of fun at myself and laugh at myself. So their cameras and mics weren't on, and it was just mine. And I do a lot of like interacting, like raise your hand if you do this. And I was like, oh, I can't see you, so we're just gonna assume all of you guys raised your hands and like go all. So I'm just really quirky in that sense. But it was a really fun time, really great. Everyone said they learned really good things, which is fabulous. But I will tell you a fun little fact, Russell. I don't think that you knew about Facebook ads or just ads in general, because Amazon ads is Russell. Like, Russell kicks my ass on those all the time. And I'm sitting here trying to do them, and he just kicks my ass at them. I'm going to learn from you one day, Russell. But Google ads is best for nonfiction authors. Did you know that? Yeah, it's the only advertising platform that nonfiction authors like whip fiction authors at. I had no idea until I was setting up this PowerPoint. So, fun times. I actually learned stuff too, but it was a lot of fun. Josh took the kids out all day. I may have put the fear of God in him that if there's yelling or banging at my door, he would have to get me out of jail. So he took them out hiking at Lit Creek and took them to lunch and everything. And I met up with them later, but it was just a fun conversation to do. But it was my longest one that I've done. 3 hours is a long time. I was prepared, but still, it was a long time. Fun time though, Russell. Fun time. I'll have
What
to
kind of
tell you.
problem occurred?
Oh, well, so my Google ad PowerPoint, because I had broken every segment up into 45 minutes, and then we did a 15-minute Q&A, and then we would do a quick little 5-minute break, and then we would try to start at like the top of every hour, because it was 3 hours, 3 segments. Well, my Google one, because Google ads, if you've ever run any kind of ad, Google ad, you set it up, you forget about it. Okay. It's not something that you have to baby, which is why I love them. They're great. And so that presentation was only like 20 minutes. And no one really had any questions because it's historical fiction. Not everyone has nonfiction historical. So it wasn't really necessarily, it was relevant, but still, it wasn't like a whole lot of questions. So then we just dove right into Facebook ads. I didn't even take a break. So I only gave these people one break because my Google presentation went by too quickly. And then I spent like an hour and a half on Facebook ads. But to be fair, Facebook ads are my baby. Like, I've been nurturing them and doing them for authors for a long time. And so that's just my jam. So I did spend a lot of time on those, and I set up a bunch of ads and had a lot of things going. So yeah, I spent a lot of time on Facebook ads. That was my problem. So just to be
Okay. Now, Mickey has something that subject that he wants to discuss, and we're all excited to do it. I'm actually very interested in it. It's on a general topic, which that we talk about maybe once a month, which is the problems that new authors or authors have with people scamming them, trying to get money out of them. Mickey, what's your subject?
So here's my rant, and you guys can shut me up at any time within this if you want. I mean, that's your prerogative.
We're hooking you off the leash. Don't do it.
Okay. There's this misconception that the things that myself and Amy do are, in some cases, not beneficial to writers. Publicists are deemed as lazy. They don't provide value. All they do is they're after money, and they're not interested in networking and affiliations and building relationships and all of that. That's, in some cases, that's the reputation overall. The issue becomes is when there's publicists like myself and with Amy, when we work together and stuff, we work hard. We work very, very hard to build our relationships. This last week alone, 3 of the relationships, and I'm just using it as an example, 3 of the relationships that I have built within the media circles have taken upon themselves to simply bypass us and contact our clients directly to get coverage, with the experience that we'll give you a free article or a free interview in our sites. Oh, and by the way, here's the fee involved with doing that. So what happens is they're basically eliminating the middleman, i.e. myself and Amy. Yes, I'm looping you in, Amy, because you're part of this. But they're trying to eliminate the middle person, go directly to a client base, which we've provided them because we thought we were in a relationship. And then they're saying, no, we're going to reach out to your people. If they decide they're going ahead, all fees will be applicable to that opportunity. So the relationship aspect, what I'm trying to say is you could fortify and build a relationship for 2, 3, 4, 5 years. one of the examples is doing this. I had a relationship with this outlet for over 3.5 years. As of yesterday, that relationship is now over. And there's the accusation that, well, publicists are protective of their clients. Of course we are. For these very reasons, for reasons like this. Number one, we don't want to see our clients get taken advantage of. Number two, we work hard in building our relationships. And number three, all these outlets are trying to do is take advantage of indie authors who don't know any different and are seeking retribution and coverage for their places. I guess the end of my rant is this. What myself and Amy do provide value back to a number of different people. And it's things like this. Well, we don't get paid for it to modify and regulate, but we do it because it's part of what we work with our clients. That's all I wanted to say about that.
Okay, well, this is just another example of new authors. And, like Ben was on recently on our show. And when Ben actually reached out to me because I've known him before because we both worked in the advanced political area as advanced men. And stories that were great stories that we never told on the show because it never came up. But he was like, Russell, I want to publish my first book. What do I do next? And I guess out of the hour and a half we spoke, I spent half of that time talking about all the traps of where people try to steal, cheat, con, or rip off new authors for money. There's a big segment, I think much more than 50% of the commercial community out there is for new authors is trying to rip them off. So that's the first thing. This is just another example. And the reason they did that, Mickey, is because if they came to you and said that, you would have said no. So they're trying to circumvent you with their scam because they have a better chance of the author saying yes than you because you're going to know the scam, right?
Yeah, that's part of it.
Yeah.
And the other aspect is we had a relationship with one of the media outlets. We had an arrangement every single month. And they just decided to bypass that. And then I was getting emails from clients saying, "What's this all about?" Like they didn't know. But my clients are loyal, so they're going to reach out to me first and check with me to make sure it's legitimate.
And you really make sure the clients understand that. Actually, for the people that are listening, I'm actually a client of Mickey. I understand that well. I have on more than 2 occasions had people reach out to me either after interviews or something like that about bookings or something like that. I've always said, check with my publicist because that's what Mickey tells us to do, right?
Yeah.
Or in one occasion, I actually just forward the reach out to me. I just forwarded it to you, and you had to send an email back. Go, what is this, Russ?
Well, yeah. So, I mean, I don't want you to get. I mean, it's twofold. Number one, I don't want you to get taken advantage of,
and you don't want to be cheated out of your work.
We have a relationship, and that's part of the relationship.
Right. You don't want to be because I got to tell you, you and Amy. But the stuff is not things that new authors or even experienced authors know. You know people, frankly, all over the world that you can reach out to, and you work hard on that. And frankly, it's amazing to me what the two of you do. And that's not a compliment because I'd much rather give you a hard time than give you a compliment.
True.
Right?
True.
Yeah. No, for sure.
Like a perfect example is the last time I had a podcast scheduled. I had to reach out to Mickey like 4 times because I freak out about this Central Time, Eastern Time. I get it confused, and it drives Mickey crazy. And also, I hate podcasters that send their guest an email 10 minutes before the interview with the link. I want the link days before.
Hey, now I do that.
I know, and it's
We'll get it.
terrible.
We'll get the link the day before. That's fine. That's normal procedure, though. That's what most podcasts do.
It drives Mickey crazy because
It does.
I'm an attorney. You're supposed to have everything down long
No,
time
it doesn't work.
before.
It doesn't work.
And it
That
drives me crazy. And there's only one person I bother, and that's Mickey. The last time he sent this text to me after I'd sent him like 5 texts. He's like, I love to hear from you, Russell, but, and then that was the end of the text. I got the message. I got the message.
I don't even say that.
no.
Well,
But that's my rant about this. I mean, just media outlets will take advantage of the relationship because they want people for their show, and we represent over 100 people, right? So there's a good segment.
Well, no, I mean, okay, so the bottom line, right? Like full transparency, because if you don't understand the industry, you don't work on our side of the industry, it looks a little bit different, right? So when you're dealing with like a publicist or a marketer, or those kind of people that have media affiliations, generally they have negotiated a rate, right? And so it ends up where it plays into your favor for your publicist to book these things, or media outlets to go through your publicist is generally going to be a cheaper rate than what that media outlet is going to charge anyone that isn't represented, right? So generally, if they're reaching out to you, it's going to cost you more money than if it were to go through Mickey. Like that's just the bottom line of it, right? Like that's just full transparency. So when media opportunities are reaching out directly and bypassing your publicist, it's because they're going to get more money from you than they probably are from your publicist, to be honest. I mean, that's just the nature of the game. But I don't know. I mean, it's just like recently. So the writing community is always ever changing, which is what makes it so beautiful, right? You have new stories and creatives and all those things coming out. But on top of that, it's not always changing in a positive direction, right? And I think this is just one of those that isn't. And full transparency, in all honesty, a media in general is suffering. It's having a really hard time. You can see a lot of podcasts that are going away, media outlets that are going away, magazines that are going away, review opportunities, like all of these things are closing down. And so in their defense, a way to avoid that is to bypass people like me and Mickey that have negotiated deals and go directly to the author. So it's just in terms of media outlook, right? It's like rock, a rocky edge that you're standing at right now. It's just it's a crazy time in media. Russell.
Okay, I need to ask this question because I can hear the people that are listening to our podcast that are wannabe authors that haven't published their book yet, but they're not satisfied. That whole subset, right? Who needs a publisher and how do you find them? Or who needs a publicist? Or who needs what you do, Amy?
Yeah.
And how do they find you?
Well,
who needs you and how do they find you?
Okay, well, I'm going to be biased here for a minute. I feel like everyone will benefit from a publicist because in general, even if you are traditionally published, when you get assigned a publicist, and Mickey is all knowledgeable about that, but you're only going to be known to your circle, right? And marketing will get you known outside of your circle, but a publicist gets you the recognition outside of your circle by doing these different media opportunities, getting access to their audiences that don't know you, didn't know that you exist, probably didn't even know that your genre was out there, right? Because there's new genres popping up all the time. Okay, like to be completely honest with you. So everyone benefits from one, right? And so it doesn't matter what journey or path you're on in your authorpreneurship, you can always benefit from one. A marketing person should work alongside a publicist because the opportunities that a publicist gets you, gets you more exposure. But if you're not sharing any of that exposure is going nowhere. Like, yeah, you have access to their audience, which is fantastic, but you're not returning the favor by giving them access to yours. You're not building your own audience. You're not telling your readers where you are, where they can find you, and that you haven't fallen off the face of the earth, right? So they generally work hand in hand. Now, not everybody works how me and Mickey do, which is like a collaborative effort. right? So generally they'll work independently and then they have to communicate, which me and Mickey do, but we do a lot of group, group clients together. So it's just a different dynamic, but you need both to be successful, in my opinion, but everybody benefits from a publicist, in my open opinion. Mickey, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, the cold reality is interviews, book reviews, and coverage are not going to equate to sales by itself. If you don't have a strong social media presence and you're not sharing those links out, you're not going to get the traction you need. No matter if it's the New York Times, Good Morning America, or the tiny little podcast with 100 views. You're not going to get the traction you want unless you share it out. Because in reality, if someone's on NPR or NBC or Fox or whoever, it's not NPR's job to actively promote you after the interview's done. They've done their job. They brought you onto their show and they interviewed you for 20, 30 minutes or 5 minutes or whatever it is. At that point, when that's done, NPR's job is now done. It is now the author's job and the publicist's job, if they have one, to get the word out, or the marketing person's job to get the word out about that opportunity and try to leverage it as much as possible. And again, if you don't do that, the chance of you going back on NPR when your next book is up and running is almost nil. Because if you're not sharing it and you don't have a social media presence, why would NPR bring you back on? There's no value to them for you doing that. So that's that aspect.
So, Mickey, why don't authors share more? I got to tell you, when I'm finished with an interview and I'm getting the information so I can maximize my sharing of my interviews, I get a lot of good surprise reaction from whoever has interviewed me, which tells me they experience the opposite in a lot of occasions, which affects their expectations. So why don't more authors share? I mean, is it just ignorance, laziness?
My opinion, and maybe it's a negative one, and I might get death threats later. Authors think from a creative standpoint. They don't think from a business standpoint. Their goal is to talk about their books. Their goal is to write books. Their goal is not to market themselves. They don't know how to market themselves in a lot of cases. That's why they hire myself and Amy. But what they're doing is that they're not sharing those links, albeit whether it's a small show or a large show. If they don't share those links, they're actually defeating the purpose of what they're paying for if you're in a publicist aspect. I mean, Russell, you pay me every month, or you pay Amy every month.
Okay, so
for that payment, go ahead.
So here's the point about that, Mickey. You work hard for your clients.
I do.
I know that Amy does too. She's crazy. So here's the point, though. From this conversation, it sounds like you're saying hire a publicist. That doesn't mean you aren't constantly, as the author, working on stuff, because you guys, your work creates a lot of activity that the authors, your clients, then have to do. You're workers, and you expect your clients to be workers.
Yeah. So generally,
it's a shocking thing.
Yeah. So generally, this is how your relationship with your publicist is going to work, right? So people like me and Mickey, we always end up being blamed for stuff, but generally, this is how it works. Okay.
As it should be. That's your job.
Yeah, our job is to be blamed. We're the scapegoat, you guys. So, okay, here is generally how it works. Okay, when you have a publicist, you're paying that publicist to get you opportunities in front of new people. Their job stops there, because then you book yourselves or they book you, however that publicist functions. They all function differently. Their job is to book you for stuff. So if you're booked for stuff, they've done their job. Your job is to show up and pitch your book, right? That is your job. My job from then on out is to share that you talked about your book, promotions about your book. That is the separation. The expectation of the author is here. We have provided you with this. You need to take it and sell your book, which is run with it. Like, we can't sell your book for you. You're the one that has to sell your book. We can put you in front of opportunities to do that. That's our job. So then you take that baton and you run with it until you pass it to someone like me, who then is going to distribute it worldwide, right? But you have to make the most of those opportunities. And so Mickey's job stops the moment that he has set up and given you an opportunity. The decision that you make whether or not to do that opportunity is on you, but he has done his job in providing you with those opportunities, just like I've done my job in sharing those things out. Now, if it's in a group of 200,000 people and you want me to go chase down where your post is in that group, I'm not doing that. Like, I'm not, because those groups, to be completely honest with you, because I've been asked this, which is why I'm answering it. Those groups get like a ton, at least between 15 to 2,000 posts within an hour. If I posted 3 hours ago, I'm not going through thousands of posts to find it, right? My job is to share it out and for it to go everywhere that it needs to go, and to make sure that things are getting done, and that you know, sometimes me and Mickey communicate, make sure you have links and all those things. But that's the description. Those are the very fine lines of what this path looks like. An author is responsible for selling their book. That's their job. We can't do that for you. We can make it look appealing and make you look appealing, but you have to take that baton and run with it. So, I mean, those are just those are the boundaries, I guess, the best way to break it up, which no one wants to talk about. Nobody wants to hear that, right? You think, oh, I hire a publicist or a marketer, I pay you every month, go do my bidding. But at the end of the day, you also have to do stuff. Like, we can only do things to a certain extent.
You have to do a lot more stuff, because Mickey creates big blocks of stuff you got to do.
Yeah.
And Amy, you do too. So if they hire a publicist, if they hire a marketer, there is projects you have to do, or they can't do their job.
Yeah, no, 100%. See, Sherry gets it. Sherry gets it. Yes, ma'am. So, but before we run out of time, you guys, I have to give Russell this. Okay, Russell has won in this book convention thing. So,
of course I have.
Of course you have. So, USA Today posted this article on the 18th. Okay, so I guess in New York there was actually a convention called BookCon or BookCon and Book Expo, which we have to talk about the difference between a convention and an expo, because I feel like they're the same thing, but I digress. So they actually retired these two conventions, I guess, back in 2020, and they're actually bringing them back in 2026 in New York City. So BookCon and Book Expo are coming back. So Russell, your little book fair conventions that you saw over in India are going to come back. They actually are a thing that do happen. They are.
I'm excited.
Yeah, they are different than Comic-Cons, though I'm not 100% convinced.
You know, you had a legitimate reason to argue that, and I mean, it was a fun argument on the show, but
it was.
I think you had legitimate arguments, and frankly, I mean, your point was books are involved, and it's fun and exciting, and so your point was still well made. So it was just a fun argument to have.
It was fun, but anyway, I'll give it to you. You're right. They are doing book exclusive conventions and expos.
Nice. So is it going to be like in India with concerts and beer and dancing?
Who knows?
So it says they're going to have book signings, clubs and swaps, author talks, workshops, panels, crafting zone, and more. There's a crafting zone.
No tattooers that we've heard. Though.
No,
not yet.
No tattooers. Let's see.
The final day in Paris, I actually texted you because another one of those young women walked by, and I texted you. We were at Sidewalk Cafe across from my apartment, living in the haze of wonderfulness in Paris. And this young woman walked by, tatted up. And I was sure it was with that and I texted you. I don't know. It might have been 3 o'clock in the morning where you live, as far as I know. I have no idea. But then my wife was like, "How do you know that was tattoos from that?" I mean, we had this long champagne uh, infused discussion and debate the way my 41-year marriage wife and I have debates about stuff.
I like it.
About I've been doing this PR marketing and they still don't get it right.
Yeah,
Right,
Sherry.
Sherry?
Yeah. I love it. I love it, Russell, when you text me that, because I was like, if it was me, right? And I've done this. This is completely fair. I have done this. I've seen different book tattoos, and then I'll ask them, "Oh, what book is that? Is that from?" But I guess it's different if I do it.
That's different. Mickey, Amy actually texted me back. uh, Did you go up and talk to them? And I was, no, I'm an old man. That would be creepy.
Oh, Russell, come on. You got to do that, man.
No,
I just said you should
I'm
ask
creepy
her what it's
enough
from.
without doing more creepy stuff.
I just said you should ask her what book.
No,
it's
that's
from. Maybe I've
creepy.
read it.
Well, Amy, it's okay. You're a young woman. An old man like me from America. Hey, baby. Well, that's
Russell,
creepy.
Russell,
Makes sense. Okay.
use the force, Russell. Use the force. That's all I
Yeah,
have
the
to
force
say.
is my wife who would knock my head off.
I mean, okay, it probably was early in the morning when you texted me that, so I probably wasn't fully coherent or thinking about it, to be
You
honest.
could also blame me
But-
and say, well, wife, my publicist told me to do it, so I got to do it.
I got
No.
to tell you, if you guys, Amy's met her, you need to meet her, Mickey. If you ever, when are you coming to Houston? We need to have
She's
some
great.
kind of uh, little meet and greet when Mickey comes to Houston. Okay,
It'll be
we
fun.
need to have a meet and greet for listeners, and when Mickey comes to Houston to meet Amy face to face,
I would love that.
and blah blah blah.
That'll
Maybe
be
next year we'll do that.
We need to do it.
Maybe next year we'll do it.
Maybe during the 12 days of Christmas.
Yeah, there you go.
There you
Yeah.
go. So
Oh
maybe
man, I gotta get
we'll have to-
started on
we'll have
that.
to figure
Oh,
it
Yeah,
out.
get to work.
I know, man. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I'm running around like
Yeah.
a chicken with
Hey,
its head
thanks for letting
cut
me rant today, guys. I appreciate it because I think
I
it's
liked
a
it.
subject that we needed to do.
You're welcome. You can come rant anytime. You're
I love it.
welcome. You're welcome. See, Sherry still understands it. She understands this.
Man, you
Aw.
got her talking. Sherry is motivated today.
I
I
love
love it.
Sherry.
Thank you for the backup, Sherry.
Sherry
Nice to meet
is
another
great. Kevin Hall also commented too. I have to go finish reading the rest of it. But yeah, bottom line is that once you publish your book, you are in business. Yes, sir. Yes. I'm telling you, it's a whole different beast. It's a different beast. 100%. But
Yeah, and one last comment, then I'll shut up. I promise, Amy.
okay.
As a result of all this, me and Amy are being even more selective when we're actually taking on new projects because we want to work with people who get it. We don't want the stress of dealing with people who don't. That's
Okay, I
just
practiced law for 41 years. One of the magic rules on how to make money as a lawyer is to know when to say no.
Yeah.
Not to know when someone comes to you and you say, "No, I'm not taking your case." That's a very important part of how you stay in business.
It took me a long time to realize that, and now
Me
I'm
too.
helping. Now I'm helping Mickey realize that. But I
Yeah.
definitely,
I
Know
learned from
when to
Amy.
say no.
I am much better now about saying no, and I try to be
Yeah.
super nice about it. But you guys, we have to end on this note because it's just I'm selfish, and that's what we're gonna do. My birthday is in a week, you guys. And to be honest,
Yay!
I forgot how old I was gonna be. I had to
All
ask that.
listeners, remember she's saying this. Send her happy birthday this week,
Yeah.
or it's going to be worse for us.
Yeah, it will be. It'll be worse for them, 100%. But to be fair, I had to ask Josh how old he was and then calculate how old I was going to be. I totally forgot how old I was going to be.
Getting those numbers up there, aren't you?
I know. Oh my gosh, you guys. But no, I remember I'll be 33 on Monday, you
Oh.
guys. So,
Yeah, I wish
Bye.
I was 33.
anyway,
I'm over twice as old as you.
and
I'm
yet we
almost-
get along because we are like,
The
best
same
friends.
person. We have like the
Yeah.
same attitudes.
Yeah,
There you
man,
go.
I feel like people should know this. Maybe you don't. If people don't really know us very often, the people that are on our Monday shows, like Russell, Sandy, and Valerie, Those are like my best friends, you guys. Like, to be completely honest,
Gosh,
we talk
you
all
didn't
the
say
time.
Mickey. Mickey,
I talk to
pull the
Mickey all
knife
the
out of your
time.
chest.
That's okay.
Mickey
Pull the
knows. I've
knife out
talked
of
to
your
Mickey
chest.
multiple times. Mickey knows.
We talk all the time. I always tell her she's my
That's probably
best
why you
friend.
didn't get listed.
Although she'll never admit it, but it's true.
I meant the host of Authortalk. But anyways, you guys, these people are like my best friends. We talk.
I gotta go.
multiple
Someone's at
times.
the door. Rita's going crazy.
Bye, Russell. All right, everybody. So with that being said, we hope everybody has a fantastic Monday, a great rest of your week. And until my birthday next Monday.
Can you come back in
Bye,
5 minutes? I'm on a
everybody.
call.
Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for having